Welcome back, everybody. Luke, how are we doing?
Doing great, Carter. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Excellent. I'm fantastic. Well, as you know, Luke, this Friday, The Running Man comes out starring Glen, directed by Edgar Wright. It's a remake of a movie from 1987 that was adapted from a book written by Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King. The OG, which is the one we're talking about today, starred Arnold Schwarzenegger and Richard Dawson, the original Family Feud host.
He used to kiss ladies on the mouth.
Yeah,
Every
they called him the Big Suck Bandit, I think.
That sounds way more insidious than kissing ladies on the mouth. Uh,
No, they did call him the Makeout Bandit, though. That was his nickname.
he- Also including for the second week in a row, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Same year, 1987.
Him and
It came
Arnold,
out after Predator.
yeah, they had to have gone to the same gold gym or whatever, right? That
They
has.
definitely met at the gym.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the new movie. I wasn't really keeping tabs on it. Also, didn't know this version existed. I'm very happy to now have it in my life, and I think it'll be something I share with the youth for generations to come. But yeah, the new version with Glenn Powell, Holman Domingo is in the Richard Dawson part, who I think he was my actor of the year last year for Sing Sing. I just wanted to put that out there before we got too far in. Sing Sing, if you didn't see it last year, it was my favorite movie. Fan freaking tastic. I don't think it's going to be anything like the movie we just watched, but I'm very excited to talk about the movie that we watched.
Yeah, so this adaptation is not very faithful to the book as far as I'm aware. It's just a bunch of absolute just 80s insanity. Like it's more like a WWE
Oh,
wrestling event, I would say.
100%. They all had gimmicks. They said silly things. It was like a Saturday morning cartoon where people died. This was a blast. I'm gonna get ahead of it right now. I had a great time.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, I know this is more of a niche movie, I feel like, but essentially Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a cop that refuses to follow orders that would eliminate a bunch of innocent people. So they told him to fire on 1,500 unarmed civilians, and he refused. And then they did it anyway and framed him for it. It's like a futuristic fascist regime United States, essentially. But after he goes to prison for his crime, they want to bring him on as a contestant for the show The Running Man, which is a government ran reality TV show where you essentially run for your life as these different, they call them stalkers with different gimmicks, hunt you down and try to kill you. And he
Yes.
doesn't want to go. And then they blackmail him into doing it by threatening to send his friends instead, which they do anyway. So it's just essentially Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ben Richards is the character's name. He's trying to make it out alive and kind of get his revenge in the process.
Yeah, it's a series of like vignettes almost, like maybe even Mortal Kombat fights. They're
Sub-Zero.
eventually new silly boy into the arena for Arnold and friends to thwart. Before we get to that, I do want to talk about the prison escape, the riot that they set off purposefully, and just take a second to really appreciate punching sound effects in 80s movies. It was like I was watching Street Fighter for 10 minutes. Like no matter there's like a whipping effect and yeah, that's much far better than the realism of a thud against the face. I really liked watching Arnold beat people up to the sounds of cartoons. And I'm going to say that maybe a couple more times because everything in this movie was like watching a 60s Hanna-Barbera romp. It was fantastic. I think there's a couple things I want to talk about. We're not talking about an Oscar award-winning film here, but I
Maybe
do
to you.
make sure I go over some of the things that were handled with great care. Final. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Ben Shepherd character, he was not asked to do much in Predator in terms of acting. It was mostly flexing and hunting. He is tasked with giving some one-liners in this movie that the greatest comedic mind of a generation couldn't pull off. And if you don't mind, no, I'm going to make you read the Sub-Zero one.
The what his victory statement after he beats him?
He kills Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, more like Plane Zero.
I don't know. What does that mean?
Here is Sub-Zero. Now, Plane Zero.
No idea.
Yeah. But then just to rattle off a few, what happened to Buzzsaw? Oh, he had to split. Very good.
After he
Oh,
took a chainsaw straight through this dude's junk up through his torso.
after Fireball introduced himself and Arnold was able to thwart him. What a hothead! I mean, this is just really really good stuff. Also, there's the idea that this is a TV show and everyone hates Arnold. Like, and they would, right? In real life, he's the biggest mass murderer in the history of the country, according to the news they've been fed. But I, if you don't mind, and it's oddly prescient given some things happening with the Cleveland Guardians and Chauncey Billups and co. The gambling was highly confounding for a multitude of reasons. One, after Ben Shepherd eliminated 3 stalkers.
His name is Ben Richards, by the
Ben
way.
Richards. I think I've called him Shepherd twice. Ben Shepherd is a player for the Pacers. That's on me. After Ben Richards has eliminated 3 stalkers, his odds of getting the next kill are 100 to 1. What kind
That's a
of
nitpick for sure. It doesn't make any sense.
what kind of and if those odds are correct and like they're sending him Fireball and they know for sure like Fireball's got him, the game's rigged, why would Richard Dawson and the TV execs not be stoked that everyone is throwing their money on like a lost cause? If he truly is 100 to 1. I don't know. Maybe I'm watching.
I took it as like this whole reality TV show thing is more of like a state propaganda tool where they put in these political prisoners and they just get absolutely slaughtered immediately.
Well, then
But then Arnold Schwarzenegger gets thrown in the mix, and out of nowhere, he's just killing the people that are supposed to maim him immediately, and everyone's like, what's going on? Everyone seems like pretty blown away that this dude has not only survived one of the guys, but he's killed like 3 in a row.
and we find out that the past winners were also then executed.
Yeah. Even if you win, they kill you and leave you to rot in the arena. But I do love the flip in the audience. It's the old lady. Like, they keep asking like people in the crowd who they want to come in and try and kill Arnold next. And they're taking like you said, they're taking bets on it. And this old lady, she's the first one. She's like, I think Ben Richards is gonna win.
Yeah.
And Richard Dawson's like, what? What do you mean? Like, he's the runner. Like, he can't win. She's like, yeah, but he's one mean motherfucker. It's so awesome.
That boy's one mean motherfucker.
And then it cuts to the bookies, and the crowd is just like, 100 on Ben Richards. And then, like, they all just start losing their minds. I do love the turn where it's like this guy, the odds are stacked against him, but then, like, it's the shift in the public perception hits. I think that's an incredible moment.
That's another thing I clocked that I really, really like about 80s movies is that most of the extras or background actors are not professional actors. These are just people happy to be along for the ride. I mean, half the actors in the movie are professional actors, but I digress. But yeah, there's so much more like room for hilarity and chaos because no one's that lady's not trying to get a part in the new season of General Hospital. She just wants to, she's so excited to show her grandkids.
Although, did you clock Charlie's mom from Always Sunny in
I did.
Philadelphia? Glen Marie Stewart recently passed away, but she cracks me up. As soon as she was on the screen, I'm like, I recognize that voice. And I can just hear all the preposterous quotes from her, like, as she was talking.
Something I've already shared with you, but I think bears repeating, is the Richard Dawson, that's stunt casting 101, right? That you get the biggest, most beloved game show host in the country to come play a game show host in his dystopian reality. He had a character with death. He was the main antagonist. Like, I thought that was surprising, and he did a really good job.
I know you said you joked like this by no means is an Oscar film, which you're absolutely right. But if you had to nominate someone for an Oscar, it would be him for like best supporting actor. He actually is like incredibly charismatic. I mean, it makes sense. Like, he was a host of a game show, but it translates so well to his role. He's just kind of like a evil con man. Like, he's charming, but he's so slimy at the same time.
He was super sinister. I really liked at the end when Arnold strapped him into the metal luge. Then we had to watch Richard Dawson fly down it as long as we had to watch Arnold fly down it, which was already far too long.
I kind of liked it. I thought it was cool.
Seconds of metal grinding on metal.
It did go a bit. This definitely is it's self-indulgent with that stuff. Mm-hmm. All the dancers, they really show them do the dance routine for a good like 2 minutes longer than they should, but it's just all pretty charming still.
I was almost ready to turn it off at about the 23-minute mark when it became a 3-minute workout dance video.
Fun fact, Paula Abdul of Lakers and American Idol fame, and obviously music fame in general, but she choreographed that dance, and that was like where she really started to make a name for herself.
The more you know. This was a funny movie, and a lot of the comedy was intentional, mostly intentional, but there was one bit they did twice, and it didn't work as a bit in the movie either time, but like watching it in 2025 is hilarious. So they made two references, like pop culture references. One was to Mr. Spock from Star Trek, and the other was to Gilligan's Island, a very popular television program. Two references that in 1987 were contemporary, and that in 2019, when Arnold plays the Running Man game in this future, like, the comedy is those references are supposed to fall flat. And I don't get how that was a good enough joke to do it twice, really much less once. But the second time, the Mr. Spock, I was like, wow, they really thought they were onto something with that, with that reference bit.
They do double dip with that one. It's like the classic, you tell a joke and no one laughs, so you repeat it because you think no one heard you, and then people go, yeah, we heard you the first time. And you're like, oh, shit, all right.
Also, like, what's the payoff? Like, if Gilligan,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I chuckled both times. It worked for me.
ends up my fault. How did you like
Comedy's subjective, they say.
the lead lady? What do you think?
Maria Conchita Alonso.
I feel like you
loved
always
her.
make me talk about the women, so I'm gonna put you in the hot seat.
I thought she was great. I thought it was hilarious that while Arnold Schwarzenegger's like fleeing the authorities, he's like, you know what? I'll make my escape to Hawaii with a beautiful Venezuelan woman against her will, and this will not go south for me. Like, I just wrote down Arnold flying too close to the sun. And of course, like the first chance she can, double crosses him because he like is threatening to snap her neck if she gives him up. And I also love when they first meet in her apartment when he's like trying to find his brother, which that plot line goes absolutely nowhere. I
No.
wasn't really sure what that was about. But she's doing like this workout. It's Captain Freedom's workout. And she's watching this in like this, like she's doing this Pilates or whatever the, hit workout is.
Mhm.
In this like silky lace like nightgown. And then Arnold comes in and ties her up to like restrain her, but he has her in like the most preposterously sexual, like she's like starfished up, like tied up, and he the whole time is like, I'm not going to hurt you. It's like, it seems like you might do something bad. Like,
Worse, yeah.
yeah.
It was the 80s, brother. Like, that's the stuff about this kind of movie. We're not gonna. Glen Powell's not doing that. Oh, spoiler. I've not seen the new movie, but I'm gonna let you know now. That's not happening.
No, this is definitely like pure 80s cocaine, like just off the wall nonsense.
Yeah.
But in a good way. It's a very fun
Well,
movie.
it didn't take itself too seriously. It's quite the romp.
I agree. Did you catch that Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac is the resistance leader?
I did not. I don't think I knew what
So
he
he's
was.
the resistance leader, and he says to Arnold, I remember you. You locked up all my friends and destroyed all my music. And his character's name in the movie is Mick. So people have theorized that it's just truly Fleetwood Mac.
Speaking of music, though, I got to give a nod to my man John Parr, known otherwise for Man in Motion, the St. Elmo's Fire banger. He just two songs that he had? The end credit song. It was like I could listen to that on a loop. This dude,
Banger.
just power, unadulterated 80s. I could see eagles flying in the sky. I could see flags waving. Ronald Reagan's ghost came and said hi to me. It was such a beautiful moment.
The last thing I wanted to talk about was just the amount. I mean, this is a really goofy, silly movie. And I'm not exactly sure, since I haven't read the book, I don't know how much was taken from Stephen King's ideas.
Mhm.
But the idea that they predicted like the importance of reality TV and like contest like shows
Mhm.
and live sports betting
Yeah.
with live odds.
AI media, the way they made the deep fake.
Yeah, like deep fake technology. Like that's a pivotal part. They like rig, they essentially show fake footage of Arnold losing and dying just so he loses support from the crowd because he's getting a little bit too he's getting too many fans backing him. And even the idea of like Donald Trump had like this The Apprentice reality show, and the main villain of this, I think there's a lot of kind of parallels. Like he's this really charismatic, like kind of sleazy dude that's risen to power through like media.
They're dubious circumstances.
Yeah, it sounds far-fetched, but do you think something like this could possibly exist? Like maybe not now, but in like 10 years.
It would be more subtle. Yeah, I think we're decades away from people being killed for sport. But I do
Yeah.
think like there's a Mr. Beast video on the horizon where something like a little less extreme happens. I bailed out 2 low-level criminals and I made them have a wrestling match to see who gets to stay out. Like,
That's a real thing.
I can foresee that. Yeah.
No, that's a real thing. There's these kids that bail out people of prison and they make them, yeah, play basketball against each other.
So messed up.
It's really not cool. I couldn't believe it. I was like, who allowed these kids to do this? Like just a bunch of dumb kids with too much money. Like
Yeah, so to answer your question, no, we're not. We're a long ways away from someone shooting fireballs and swinging chainsaws. But
maybe. I wouldn't put it past Mr. Beast. I could see him convincing Jeff Bezos on Amazon to be like, only a few people are gonna die. Like, it's gonna get crazy ratings.
mostly criminals. No.
Yeah. Imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger casually murdering you and just dropping an insane one-liner to you. Like when he lifts the guy up at the prison and he's just like about to toss him over the rail to his death and he just goes, "Need a lift?" Like imagine being picked up by a grown man and he just cracks a joke and then he just slings you to your death. How terrifying would that be?
I'm kicking myself. I had that one. I just let it slip. Like, have a good trip. See you next fall. Like,
It's almost like this is Arnold's calling cards just unchecked. Like he even
yeah.
does the "I'll be back" line from Terminator.
Oh yeah.
But
So wrestling.
that's a great moment though when Richard Dawson hits him with the "only in a rerun" and then he sends him off into the game. That's a pretty awesome line.
Killian, I'll be back. Only in a rerun.
Well, I think that's it. Unless you have anything else you wanna throw in the mix. Well,
My closing thoughts are like this is the kind of movie I'm missing. You know, I love a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. I guess you could say there's a greater point, but because it's like dystopian and dangers of a authoritarian regime, but it's mostly just Arnold kicking ass, and that's what I like.
I think you're right. I think that the Stephen King book probably is a lot heavier, and this was like, what if we stripped it of all the really important narratives and just made it an absolute blast and a half? And it worked. I mean, I think this new one with Edgar Wright and Glen Powell might be a little more faithful, might be a little more kind of pessimistic and less fun. Not totally devoid of fun because it's an Edgar
Well, it
Wright
looks
movie,
funny.
but yeah, it
Yeah.
looks good. It's kind of gotten mixed reviews, but I'm still really excited for it. I mean, obviously, I love Edgar Wright. I think you do too.
Love Edgar Wright. I love Glen Powell. I think's on a heater. I think Coleman Domingo, like I said, is the man. I'm seated for it.
Yeah, same. All right, well, let us know in the comments if you've seen this movie. If you plan on seeing the Glen Powell movie, I don't think it's projected that you will because the box office numbers don't look great. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.